When you look at Blizzard behavior over the past year, I really don't think they have a leg to stand on when judging others whenever it comes to behavior. Hello again, this is Heretic Prince. With the release of Overwatch 2, Blizzard has enacted a policy regarding collecting people's phone numbers. Looking at this Bounding into Comics article, which reads, Blizzard Entertainment will record voice chats in Overwatch 2 and require players to provide phone numbers to prevent quote-unquote disruptive behavior. As I read this, some things seemed like they were decent ideas, or at least honest ideas. But as I read further, it seemed more like overcorrection. They are taking on the behavior of someone who is guilty, but yet trying to convince everybody that they are innocent. You know the type of person. Someone who has done awful things, but they judge others very harshly because they want everybody to view them as the good person. They are the nice guy.
All right. Mistakes were made.
I'm going to skim over the article real quick, but I really want you to stick with me because I'm going to go over the timeline over the past year looking at this company's behavior. And who are they to judge? Who are they to tell other people how to act? And as I read through all these old articles, all I could think is, how can I trust this company to judge me or judge anybody? What really tipped this scale of needing to have a phone number is this little part right here. Blizzard Entertainment's use of machine learning and audio transcripts. After explaining how machine learning had been used to detect and prevent disruptive behavior, quote-unquote nonconformity, and text chat, they revealed, we're expanding our detection capabilities by introducing audio transcriptions in the following weeks after launch. That's right, what you say to each other will be put into a nice little script for Blizzard to read. Audio transcriptions allow us to collect a temporary voice chat recording of a reported player and automatically transcribe it through speech-to-text programs. The text file is then analyzed for disruptive behavior by our chat review tools. Once the audio recording has been transcribed to text, it's quickly deleted as the file's sole purpose is to identify potential disruptive behavior. Once again, they keep saying that. The text file is then deleted no later than 30 days after the audio transcription. I'm sorry, Blizzard, but you don't entirely have my trust on these things. Like I said, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane on this, and I asked you to stick with me, and if you're here, thank you very much for doing so. You see, this article does have parts where they talked about using this so that way a person's phone number is linked to one account. And if they're banned for cheating, which is something I totally understand, like downloading hacks, things like that, you can't just up and create a new account because your phone number is linked to the old account and they know not to let you in. That's understandable. However, once again, Blizzard being the moral police doesn't sit quite right with me. I feel like they are overcorrecting for their own mischievousness. Let's take a look at their little timeline. It was reported on July 22nd, 2021. Activision Blizzard hit with lawsuit over alleged frat boy workplace culture, including on-the-job alcohol use and rampant sexual assault of female employees. Now, this wasn't a situation of he said, she said. This went to court. There's still a lawsuit over this. Even I did a video on this because, believe it or not, at one time Blizzard was a gaming company I liked. I thought that they developed quality games. And people can hate me for that all that they want to. I didn't know what was going on in the background. Going on into that article, it said, quote, in the office, women are subjected to cube crawls in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and often engage in inappropriate behavior toward female employees. Male employees proudly come into work hungover. They continued, play video games for long periods of time during work while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, engaging in banter about sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about that which is so bad you dare not say it on the internet. They went on, further asserting that female employees are subjected to constant sexual harassment, including having to continually fend off unwanted sexual comments and advances by their male coworkers and supervisors. The state elaborated on the effects of this culture has had on the company's female employees by recalling how a particularly tragic example wherein a female employee ended her own life during a business trip with a male supervisor who had brought butt plugs and lubricant with him on the trip. So yes, I can't help but feel that Blizzard's attempting to say, no, we're the good guys. We're the good, and we're such good guys. We have such high moral standards that we're going to ban anybody from our game who acts the least bit less than having total and complete respect. They're overselling it. I'm reminded of the priest from that show Castlevania. He's one of the most evil person on the planet, but he hides it all behind being a priest.
I am the Bishop of Greshit.
Your God knows that we wouldn't be here without you. This is all your fault, isn't it?
She was a witch.
Lies in your house of God? No wonder he has abandoned you.
Right? And what's better than being a priest of the new religion, the new Puritanism? Now, it might sound like I'm being silly, but look at how far they took it. 2 months later, Blizzard started censoring artwork within their own game, World of Warcraft. Blizzard censored sexualized background paintings featured in World of Warcraft since launch. Now, here is one of the examples. And I'm not going to go on about this too long, but I played the game for a very long time, and I got very invested into the lore of the game. This is a painting of course, a woman who's dressed in what seems to be like a bikini or her underwear, and is replaced by a bowl of fruit. This was in a dungeon called the Scarlet Crusade. Ironically, the Scarlet Crusade are a bunch of Puritans. They are so self-assured in their own self-righteousness that they became villains. And whenever I saw the pictures of the sexy ladies up on the wall, I thought it just kind of spoke to their own hypocrisy. They believed that they were holier than thou, but in the end, they were just like the rest of us. I mean, come on, who doesn't like boobies? But the paintings told a story. They thought that they were so pure, but at the same time, they were just as tempted by the pleasures of the flesh as everybody else. Blizzard even went so far to change this painting, which, honestly, I think the one on the left is kind of beautiful. And honestly, I don't understand what's wrong with it. Now, I could go on an argument here like, oh, look at how ashamed they are of females. They hate women so much that they cover them. I'm not going to go that route. Not this time. I'm being a little bit serious, if you can believe it or not. But this really spoke to the hypocrisy of this Scarlet Crusade. And by doing this, they just turned it into another painting. Like, who gives a fuck? Oh, it's a painting of a woman. HP, are you saying a painting of a woman is a... Shut the fuck up. You know exactly what I'm saying here. The paintings told a story, and they removed it. Why? Because they want to say, look, we're the nice guys. We respect the women's.
We're sorry.
It told a story of how the Scarlet Crusade was objectifying, okay? If anything, they should have left it in to keep the Scarlet Crusade as villains, because as we all know, Puritans think that men who find women attractive are the most evil thing on the planet. But at the same time, if you don't find... Puritans are the biggest fucking hypocrites. There's no winning with them. And then, 1 month later, in October of 2021, there were still more edits being done. Blizzard says ongoing World of Warcraft content's edits being made in service of being more inclusive. Of course, there's that word, inclusivity. Now, here's a part of this article where they further dedicated themselves to the Puritan religion. Here we see a few incantations dedicating themselves to the new Puritan religion. In short, we want our jokes to be inclusive and not punch down. It's important to us that we ensure Azeroth is the best place it can be for everyone, and we will continue to improve our processes when it comes to this kind of decision making. In conclusion to their post, the development team promised that they would be introducing wide range of options for players to represent themselves. Representation. Offering up their creation of an incubus demon, which we can add to places where succubus models currently appeared, as an example of these upcoming cosmetic choices. You know what? Aside from the other stuff, the whole punching down thing, we all know what that means. That means that there's only one demographic you can make fun of. However, whenever it comes to the succubus incubus thing, in my opinion, I say let the warlocks choose what they want to have. I don't give a fuck. I think that would be fun. Now we skip ahead 5 months down into Blizzard's descent into Puritanism. This is an article that harkens back to the original sexual assault allegations. Activision Blizzard hit with wrongful death suit by family of female employee who allegedly ended their life in response to sexual harassment. Now, as you can imagine, this is a big black eye across any game developer. And I imagine it's one hell of a motivation for a company to really change their ways. Now, as much as I would love to think that a company changes their ways or fixes problems like this to be a better company, to be a safer company to work in, the way that they're going about it just screams to me that it's all about their public image. I'm sure some people would tell me that all corporations only act in the best interest of their profits, and having a good image helps with those profits. But you'd think that these corporations are run by humans, and at some point your human spirit would take over and be like, no, we got to fix this because it's the right thing to do. But like I said, it seems to me like they're really trying to overcorrect. And while I'm sure some people will tell me, oh, how can you overcorrect? What's wrong with simply wanting people to be a good person, HP? Well, let's continue moving on. The next month, April 12th, 2022, Activision Blizzard's new diversity, equity, notice they don't say equality anymore, they say equity, and inclusion officer to ensure diverse and inclusive perspectives in game design, storytelling, and more.
We're sorry.
I don't understand how this addresses the problem of the lawsuit, of what happened. The crimes that happened weren't because of lack of inclusion or too much inclusion. It happened because you let people do whatever the fuck they wanted to. It's like they're not trying to fix the problem, they're just trying to pander. Hey, look at us. Look how good we are. We have accepted the gospel. Of course, more inclusion, more diversity will fix all the problems that we had in the past. And how do we know that that will fix the problems? Well, of course, you have to understand what the problem was. July 30th, 2021. God of War director David Jaffe blames white privilege of former Blizzard staff for recently alleged failings of Activision Blizzard. Yeah, that's right. The problem wasn't from having no standards, from having no rules, not for having any control over your employees. No, it was that damn white privilege. It was those goddamn white people. That was the problem. The fucking males. Oh, God. I'm going to be sick to my stomach. They had white males. That's where the problem came from. So, of course, solving the issue is not going to come down to the company needing to make sacrifices, needing to enforce their rules. No. It's understanding that white people are evil and privileged. That's the problem. The problem was we had white people in there. Now we're going to go to Coca-Cola route and put out a document saying how to be less white. That means that the company doesn't need to make any sacrifices. Only thing that means is, well, number one, we need to get those fucking white people out of here. And then we need to make sure that our customers know. Those fucking filthy gamers, those horrible fucking, those gamer gators. We gotta let gamers know we won't tolerate gaming behavior anymore. Because that's what the problem really was. What leads me to say that? June 14th, 2022. Blizzard Entertainment now requires World of Warcraft players to sign anti-harassment social contract before logging in. That's right. It wasn't the employees of Blizzard, it was the gamers. It's their fucking customers. Their customers were the problem.
Sorry.
You know, because as we all know, gamers are horrible, evil people. If we could only get rid of the gamers, if Blizzard could only keep their profits and get rid of the gamers, that would be wonderful. And then we can invite the inclusive new religion, these Puritans in to play our games, even though they don't play fucking video games. They just want to dictate to them, hey, your video game should be like this. Now, I'm not going to spend my fucking money to buy the game if you make it the way I want it to be, but you should make it the way I want it to be, or else you're a bad person. And Blizzard's like, yes, I totally understand. I know my place. I'll be a good bitch.
Check this shit out.
Steve Perry.
Huh?
Oh.
Tough break, Squeak.
Yeah, now you gotta fetch the ball, bitch.
These people. Like how? How can you look at your... After you do all that shit, after you face a lawsuit, you turn around and you look at your gamers, you look at your customers dead in the eye and say, sign this contract that you won't be a bad person. A bad person by whose judgment? By whose judgment are you going to base whether or not I'm a good person or not? I know one thing, I'm a good enough person to work at Blizzard. You don't tell me how to be a good person, thank you very much. Not fucking worried about what the hell you think a good person is. June 23rd, 2022. Activision Blizzard claim internal and external investigations found no evidence of company-wide harassment issues. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. If you got enough money, nobody ever finds anything on you. I almost said something, but I don't want to be the next person found dead hanging in my bedroom.
Okay. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
But you see, here it is. Oh, it wasn't the company. It wasn't the company's policies. It wasn't the company's rules. No. So they're going to turn it on their goddamn customers. And I'm sorry, if you're a customer of Blizzard, I don't mean that you're going to hell or whatever. It's just the way I talk, right? I was raised in Kentucky. Cut me some slack. But yeah, here it is. They've been absolved, at least according to themselves. But yet they're going to still keep overcorrecting to say, look, we're the good guys. We're the good guys.
We're sorry.
May 14th, 2022. Activision Blizzard and King develop new tool to measure character diversity in video games. Once again, they're blaming it on diversity. They're blaming, I'm sorry, not for the abundance of diversity, but for the lack of diversity. Like the old article said, the reason was white privilege. Blizzard doesn't have any issues. It's that fucking white privilege. And so they come out with this tool that assigns points to characters based upon their race, their sex, their age, their sexuality. And of course, somehow they come to the conclusion that one sexuality is more valuable than the other. One race is more valuable than the other. And, well, not only did normal people and heretics make fun of this, but the Puritans also came out scorning it. Like, oh, that's horrible. How can you do that? But in my opinion, they were really upset because somebody put a graph on to the way that they think. Who do you think was rated as a 0 on, which sexuality, how many points do you get for being a heterosexual? That's a big fat fucking 0. How many points do you get for being a man? That's a 0. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm pretty sure the numbers are on a different graph. But if you ask any of these Puritans, okay, well, I'm like, okay, well, two people give you an opinion, a man and a woman, whose opinion's worth more. Now, they might go, No, they'll weasel their way around it, but the woman's opinion's worth more. And that's the way that the Blizzard diversity tool works. The female gender gets more points than the male gender. And I truly believe that they were upset that this tool revealed the way that they think. I mean, in the past, we called it the Oppression Olympics. But of course, Blizzard, being a business, they did what businesses do. They quantify things for marketing. And they started trying to figure out, hey, how can we get these people to like us the most? Well, let's assign point values for people who don't buy our fucking game. I apologize. As I'm going through this, I see that I skipped a month or two here and there, whatever. It's still basically in order. You can figure it out. Continuing on about the diversity tool, Activision Blizzard clarifies recently revealed diversity tool is not being used for active game development following backlash. Then why does it exist? Why hide from it? Why not accept? Why not embrace that as a thing? Stop hiding from the philosophy of the Puritans. Why? Why would you hide from it? Every new show that comes out, every new movie comes out, all of them are measured based upon that tool. Now, thankfully, in this tool, in this one, we get a little bit better look at the tool that they're using. Like here, we're looking at the character Anna. Her culture, Egyptian, 7 points. Race, Arab, 7 points. Age, 60. That's another 70 points. Sorry, 7 points. Cognitive ability, reason, 0. That tells us every fucking thing we need to know about Puritanism. But they came up with this entire tool to pander to people, to say, hey, we're the good guys, and it wasn't our fault bad things happened. It was that fucking white privilege, those white people.
We're sorry.
That's all it was. Please like it. We're sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, but what the fuck? You're going to honestly record people's audio chats and put them into transcripts and read them to determine if someone's being quote unquote disruptive. And you know what that means, disruptive. It means being non-conforming. Let me tell you, you better go into Overwatch Raid to say only 2 things. Good game and good play. Because let me tell you, somebody will always find a problem with anything you say outside of that, and I'm sure they'll find a way to have a problem with saying good game. We have to remember, these are people that find the okay sign offensive. They get traumatized by it. I've literally seen people say that they were literally shaking because somebody replied to them with that. They need therapy because of it. Their world's crashing down around them. And the person who flashed that sign at them needs to be incarcerated immediately. No trial. Even this person right now, this person that we're looking at with this fox leaping at us. I know, I haven't looked up the story because quite frankly, I don't give a fuck about Overwatch or Blizzard very much anymore. But I know that Puritans had a problem with this person. I'm afraid to say like any kind of pronouns because God only knows what they are. I said they. That's probably going too far. I've probably pissed somebody off. I'm probably going to be banned off YouTube. It was great. It was a good run. It was great while it lasted. They will always find a way to be offended. And Blizzard will always find a way to prostrate before them because they're trying to get past the stigma of what happened in the past. If they would have just fucking fixed the issue, but no, they gotta blame it on something else. They gotta blame it on white privilege.
Sorry.
Fucking white people. Well, whatever. I've been fucking ranting on about this long enough. Ain't nobody here. Ain't nobody listening at this point. If anybody hung on to this point, I tell you, I tell you what, if you've listened to the video to this point, comment down below Reinhardt. Right, if you comment down below Reinhardt, I know that you're you're one of the true believers. You're somebody I owe a great deal of gratitude to for listening to a drunk old man ramble about a fucking video game character company that he used to really like. I used to really like them. I used to be the biggest Blizzard fan. They just pissed me off with this shit. Right? Okay, whatever. As always, thank you very much for listening and letting me share my thoughts with you. And remember, never let standing up by yourself stop you from standing up for yourself. You have a great day.